now I gotta kick his ass. But yo, I'm aware of the public sentiment on this fight. I got the whole world against me, but luckily for me, I believe what I believe.
Paul states that he wants to avenge Jake's defeat. Via sports claim, Logan Paul wants to avenge Jake Paul by fighting Anthony Joshua.
Chaos breaks out as Logan Paul crosses the line at the airport, shouting at Anthony Joshua and demanding a fight to avenge his brother. It looks desperate and forced. Anthony Joshua stays composed while Logan chases clout, proving the gap between a real heavyweight champion and internet noise is massive. Logan Paul is making a scene, claiming he can take down Anthony Joshua with one punch. It is clear he does not understand the level of skill and experience Joshua possesses. This stunt shows desperation and proves that Anthony Joshua remains composed and untouchable, while Logan is still chasing attention rather than facing a real challenge.
Absolutely nothing to lose against a guy who's got literally everything to lose. If I knock this dude out, because all it takes is one punch in the right spot, this will be the biggest upset in the history of sports.
The Paul brothers continue to embarrass themselves trying to intimidate Anthony Joshua. Logan's antics at the airport are childish, and his brother Jake acting like he knows boxing only exposes their lack of real skill. Joshua remains calm and untouchable, proving that these internet fighters are a joke compared to a true heavyweight champion who carries composure and experience.
The push was, we've seen worse, you know what I mean? But lively, and what followed actually was one of the few times that I've seen Anthony Joshua unravel, if you like, because normally he's very composed, but you can't be composed when a man's talking to you like that.
The Paul brothers are desperate for relevance, hyping fights they cannot win. Logan thinks he can avenge his brother, but the truth is they are both completely outmatched by Anthony Joshua. This isn't a fair fight, it's a comedy of errors where two privileged kids try to play with real heavyweights and get exposed for their lack of talent and experience.
Happens, it would be the first time ever that two brothers were hospitalized by the same man. Avenge his brother or join him in the hospital? Box Score Sports Bible. Let me counterpunch. I think that Logan Paul fighting AJ, or should I say AJ fighting Logan Paul, would be more of a mismatch than
Jake Paul showing his ignorance again by lecturing his brother on something neither of them can do properly. The Pauls are amateurs posing as tough guys, while Anthony Joshua is a world champion. This family drama is funny to watch because it highlights how out of their depth they are and that their threats are all smoke and mirrors.
Weird. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
the
bro, when people, this is why I go back to, if you've never been in the ring, never boxed, please just don't talk about boxing.
But it's fun because everyone wants to be the expert. Right?
Logan Paul's ego is bigger than his skill, and Tyson Fury perfectly sums up the ridiculousness. The Paul brothers parade themselves around like real fighters, but this is pure theatrics. Anthony Joshua's calm and methodical approach exposes their childish bravado and reminds everyone that real champions don't get rattled by empty threats from YouTube stars.
Could you call it Anthony Joshua and Gervonta Davis? It's like fucking that end of the scale and this end of the scale. Not sure.
The Paul brothers pretending to play in the fight game is laughable. They throw tantrums like children, while real fighters understand respect and skill. Anthony Joshua stands miles above them, and watching Logan and Jake try to be men in the ring is just comedy. Their antics will never match the craft of a true champion.
Doing it, they shouldn't be putting hands on each other, but it is the fight game, and we've seen far worse. We've seen guys get in fights. We've seen people throw dollies in this game, in the combat sport.
It is obvious to everyone that Logan Paul has no place in a ring with Anthony Joshua. The Paul brothers are clout chasers with zero understanding of boxing. Their overconfidence and antics are laughable, and no amount of bravado will ever change that. Anthony Joshua is untouchable, and this stunt just proves the Pauls are outclassed.
It's madness. I can't get my head around it, mate. I just don't believe he is going to be in the ring facing.
The Paul brothers continue to humiliate themselves by thinking they belong anywhere near a ring with Anthony Joshua. Duke McKenzie makes it clear they are amateurs pretending to be fighters. Logan's airport antics and Jake's overblown warnings only highlight their lack of skill and experience. Real boxing demands discipline and talent, and the Pauls have neither. Anthony Joshua represents true championship caliber, while the Pauls are a circus act. Their attempts at intimidation are laughable, and they are being exposed for the frauds they really are.
They said, and everybody knows, he's not a real boxer. There's levels to this game, and he was way out of his level, way out of his depth.
Carl Froch perfectly sums up the chaos surrounding the Paul brothers. Logan and Jake Paul are creating drama with no substance. Their childish stunts are a joke to anyone who understands real boxing. Anthony Joshua remains calm and untouchable, while the Pauls flail for attention. They have no plan, no skill, and their theatrics expose them as frauds. Froch's words capture the absurdity of their actions. These YouTube stars are entertaining for a moment, but when held up against a true champion, they are completely irrelevant and outclassed.
Talk bullshit, but where does he go from here? What does he do? I'm not even arsed, man. I can't be arsed with this bullshit anymore, this clown world. It's a joke shop. It's just a big fucking... It's just an absolute...
Jake Paul finally facing the truth shows he is not equipped for real fighters. His brother Logan is no different, hyping fights they cannot win. Anthony Joshua exposes them easily with composure and skill. Nelson's analysis reflects that these Paul brothers live in a fantasy where they believe bravado and social media influence can replace real ability. Reality hits hard when you face a true heavyweight champion. Their egos are inflated, but the ring does not lie. Joshua's dominance underscores how outmatched the Pauls are, and why they should stay in entertainment, not professional boxing.
Got to make this kid have a reality check. And that's what he actually did, because Jake Paul himself said, I was shattered. You know, this guy, everything I thought I could do.
Logan Paul's reckless behavior is beyond comprehension. Showing up and causing chaos in the morning of a fight highlights his lack of discipline and respect for boxing. Jake Paul acts like he is in control, but they are just amateurs playing at being fighters. Anthony Joshua's calm and professional approach contrasts sharply with their immature stunts. Nelson points out that the officials are in a tough position because the Paul brothers do not understand the rules or danger of their own actions. They are lucky Joshua hasn't responded in kind yet, but their foolishness continues to embarrass them.
This morning, man, to make the way how he's done it, you know, on the morning of a fight, it's just wrong. It's dangerous, and the board are now in a situation where they think shit. So I don't know how they're going.
Eddie Hearn nails the core problem with the Paul brothers. They provoke real fighters like Anthony Joshua without understanding the consequences. Logan and Jake Paul thrive on insults and theatrics, but Anthony Joshua responds with composure and skill, not childish taunts. Hearn makes it clear that disrespecting a world champion will always backfire. The Paul brothers are lucky their antics haven't led to serious consequences. They lack the maturity and experience to navigate the boxing world, and their attempts to intimidate Joshua only expose their weakness and inexperience, while the champion remains untouchable.
Buttons, when someone shoves you like that, when someone starts talking about your mum, no man, like, look, I'm a complete pussy, right? If you start talking about my mum and all this other stuff, I'm going to have a pop at you. I can't fight, but I don't care, I'll have a right go. And you're talking about the world heavyweight champion. If you start talking to him like that, if you shove him like that, he's going to react.
Simon Jordan perfectly sums up the Paul brothers' antics. Logan Paul thinking he can intimidate Anthony Joshua is laughable because the ring exposes anyone faking confidence. Just like Chisora spitting on Klitschko was pointless, Logan's airport theatrics have zero impact on a world-class athlete. Jake Paul trying to lecture others on boxing shows his ignorance and lack of experience. Anthony Joshua remains calm, collected, and completely unbothered by their juvenile behavior. Every stunt the Paul brothers pull just makes them look smaller against a real heavyweight champion. Their fame comes from social media and controversy, not skill, and the ring will always separate the entertainers from true fighters. They are exposed as nothing more than clowns pretending to be boxers.
His face. I mean, how many times have we seen boxers do things that they shouldn't do? You know, we saw Derek Chisora spit on Vitaly Klitschko.
We didn't need that.
I'm not offended by it.
Adam Smith highlights the chaos Logan Paul caused while failing to grasp the reality of boxing. Provoking Anthony Joshua in public is not clever, it is childish and dangerous. Jake Paul echoes the same mistake by acting like he belongs in the heavyweight conversation. Boxing demands discipline and respect for opponents, and the Paul brothers have none of that. Every stunt they pull only adds spectacle but proves their lack of ability. Anthony Joshua's experience and composure contrasts sharply with the Paul brothers' foolish antics. Their social media stunts cannot mask their incompetence in the ring. Real fans recognize that Joshua represents true championship caliber, while the Paul brothers are a circus act trying to masquerade as professionals.
For the casual fans, do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens next.
Frank Warren hits the nail on the head when he calls out the Paul brothers' nonsense. Logan Paul attacking Anthony Joshua in public is not clever promotion, it is stupidity. Jake Paul plays along like he understands boxing, but neither of them grasp the fundamentals of respect and preparation. Real fighters settle disputes in the ring, not in airports. Joshua does not need to stoop to their level because his skill speaks for itself. The Paul brothers' antics are a distraction from the sport and expose them as amateurs seeking attention. Boxing is not a stage for YouTube drama. These two continue to embarrass themselves while Anthony Joshua remains the picture of professionalism and strength, proving why social media fame cannot replace talent.
Well, this is not a gang fight. You know, the only two have been fighting are the boxers and save it for the night. They don't get paid. They don't get paid to fight before the fight.
Adam Smith reminds us that the Paul brothers have no idea what they are stepping into. Logan Paul threatening Anthony Joshua and calling him out at the airport is theater, not preparation. Jake Paul's warnings and lectures show his ignorance. On fight night, nothing they say or do will protect them from the reality of a world-class heavyweight. Anthony Joshua's skill and calm demeanor will dominate while the Paul brothers' antics will unravel. Social media stunts cannot mask a lack of experience, technique, and toughness. Every move they make outside the ring only highlights their immaturity and exposes them to embarrassment. Joshua embodies true boxing mastery while the Pauls are mere entertainers playing at danger.
You don't know what's going to happen because it's different on that day than any other day. It just sort of scripts go out the window.
Everything is at stake when Anthony Joshua steps into the ring against Logan Paul because this is more than just a fight. It is a test of legacy versus social media hype. Joshua has the skill, power, and composure of a true heavyweight champion, while the Paul brothers rely on theatrics and public stunts to create attention. If Anthony Joshua wins, it cements his dominance and silences the critics who think a YouTuber could compete at his level. If Logan Paul somehow shocks the world, it would be an unbelievable upset, but no one with eyes on real boxing sees that happening. Mentally, Joshua is stronger, more disciplined, and hungrier for real glory, whereas Logan and Jake are caught up in image and hype. Fans must recognize that the ring does not lie. The time has come to witness true boxing supremacy and call out the pretenders. Are you backing Anthony Joshua or believing the Paul brothers can survive the storm? Drop your thoughts below.